Today we're going to be looking at Directions dye in the color Alpine green. So I have my swatches labeled 1 through 12, but that is not synonymous with hair levels. I do pictures and clips near the end of the video, so the numbers just help us keep track of each swatch. These are human hair swatches, but the only one that is virgin hair is the number 4 black swatch. The rest have been bleached or chemically colored at some point in their existence. One is pink, red and green are across from each other on the color wheel, so I just wanted to see how the greenish dye would look on top. 2 is gray, 3 is a natural red, 4 is black, and then from 4 to 11 is a range that goes to platinum blonde. And then 12 is like a toned version of number 11. So I'm going to take the dye directly from the container and I'll put it at the top of each swatch. Some people do like to dilute their dyes, so I will do a diluted version at the bottom of each swatch as well. Please keep in mind, everyone's hair is different, which means everyone's hair will take color differently. So please just use my video as a reference for how this could possibly turn out for you. For the diluted version, we're going to do a 1:4 ratio, so that is 1 part of the dye to 4 parts diluter. I'm going to warn you, the color that the diluted version turns out is very unexpected, at least to me. I will say when you first apply it, it looks very blue, like a very smoky navy. And then as it sat on my paper towel when I swatched it, it started to look more green and like it made a little bit more sense, but it's still very smoky. So I'm excited to see how it turns out on the swatches. And I will also say that I did try 2 different brand conditioners to make sure that there wasn't an ingredient making the diluted section look like so different, and it turned out the same with both. So it's just the undertones in the dye. Also, if you're not sure what diluter is, my simple, easy answer is that it's just something that lightens the color of your hair dye, your semi-permanent hair dye. And I always just use a plain white conditioner. I'm gonna let these sit for about 3 hours. I will then rinse them out, and when they're dry, I'll meet you back here and we'll do some comparisons. You can tell this is really pigmented just by looking at number 1. That was the pink one, and it's completely covered. I'm assuming because of the pink, it does look slightly more cool toned, especially on the diluted section. Number 2 is gray. It does look a little bit darker on the direct dye versus these ones. And similar to number 1, it does look a little bit more cool toned, but not quite as cool toned as number 1. Number 3 is interesting. So on the direct dye portion, it's very dark. In the direct lighting, I can see green coming through, but on the diluted section, it almost looks toned out, like it almost looks like a brown, which is pretty interesting. I would say a color like this, you should probably have at least a medium to light brown. So 4 through 6, there is a difference. The dye definitely affected the hair, but it doesn't really look all that green in my opinion. Number 6 has a slightly green hue, but in normal like indoor lighting, you can't really see it, and you don't really see any actual greenish blue hues popping up until number 7 and then lighter. I think The direct dye looks the best on 10 through 12. It does look good on number 9 too, but it pops a little better on 10 and 11 especially. On number 12 it turned out really dark. I'm assuming the cool undertones in the hair is what makes it turn out so much darker on top. And then for diluted, I think 11 and 12 look the best, but honestly 10's not bad either. Again, similar with my last explanation, it just pops a little more on the number 11 and 12, but as always it just depends on the look that you're going for. So for comparisons, I did a dye from Punky Color that was called Alpine Green as well. Comparing the two, they are not similar, but I'll just throw it up there really quick. So this is the Platinum Blonde swatch. It's a little wonky, sorry about that. So the Punky Color Alpine Green definitely leans a lot more green. It's still a very cool toned green, but compared to the directions, this one is a lot more green. So then I started looking at my more like greenish blue dyes. Colors like this are so interesting because if you look at it as a green, it is very, very blue leaning. But if you look at it as a blue, it's very, very green leaning. So it's kind of hard to identify. I would say it still is in the green family, but it's like right on the edge. Like if you added one more drop of blue, I feel like it'd be kind of in the blue family. For the first more similar comparison, I'm gonna do Manic Panic in the color Enchanted Forest. This is comparable to number 12, number 11, number 10, and number 9. I will say Lunar Tide's Cerulean Sea is almost identical to the Manic Panic Enchanted Forest, so whichever one is easier for you to get. Just wanted to throw that out there, but I didn't want to show both of them in this video. It feels a little bit repetitive. So Enchanted Forest definitely leans a lot darker. You can especially see it on the number 11. Up here, it's a lot darker. So when you dilute it, it's going to take a little bit longer to lighten it up this much, but undertone wise, Enchanted Forest is actually slightly more blue looking. Hopefully my camera can pick that up. It might not be able to, so just take my word for it if that's the case, but they really are not super duper different. So if you only have access to one and not the other, they're not terrible dupes for each other. The Manic Panic one, you would just have to dilute a little bit to get to be a closer color to the Alpine Green. But yeah, definitely slightly more blue. And the other comparison I wanted to do is Lime Crime in the color Sea Witch. So this is comparable to number 12, number 11, number 10, and number 9. So in terms of depth, the Lime Crime does also lean a little bit darker. I used to do 2 separate diluted sections, so I would dilute it once and then again, so that's why there's 3 portions on there. There might be like a drop more green in the Sea Witch. So if anything, I would say Sea Witch is slightly more green. Alpine Green is kind of in the middle, and Manic Panic's Enchanted Forest is like a drop more blue. But they're all in the same family and they're all very similar to each other. So now I'd like to get into the before and after clips. Those, as well as anything you see past that point in the video, will all be done in natural lighting. I hope this video helped. If you have a request, I do have a link below to a Google form you can fill out. Just remember, I only do dyes that do not test on animals. Thank you so much to my patrons, and thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in my next video.